This is Pamela, Remainder for Services. I have Greg Johnson here, our Director of Media Development, and we are talking about the Produce Reporter newsletter Week in Review. So what is some of the more engaging content that we had this week?
Well, Pamela, I was checking our numbers, and the Aldi Kohl's mashup store has been really popular among our readers. I imagine you would love this concept, right?
There is a Kohl's about 2 miles from my house with Aldi's name on it. I wish. The Kohl's and Aldi combination kind of seemed like a head scratcher to me at first a little bit. Was it going to be a food hall concept? Because I don't think that's going to work. Basically what they've done is just cut off a piece of Kohl's and made it an Aldi. And that's a perfect outlet to get not only the foot traffic to what Kohl's needs. There's a lot of crossover between those types of shoppers. People who shop at Kohl's typically are bargain hunters who like nice brands, and people that Aldi wants to attract. They want that bargain hunter shopper who is also looking for some higher end stuff, which is what Aldi is adding to its newer stores. And Aldi is spending a couple of $1 billion redesigning and also expanding its footprint. It wants to have 2,500 stores by the end of 2022, I believe, and that would make it the third largest grocer in America. As far as store count goes. So they've got a lot of big plans. They say this Kohl's mashup is actually a very limited pilot test, but I think it has legs. I think it's going to expand. So Greg, you wrote a little bit about what's going on the other end of grocery with Whole Foods kind of reclaiming that whole paycheck image. What's going on with that?
This week, the Wall Street Journal had a story about Whole Foods raising prices and kind of going against their fight last year to shed the image of the whole paycheck. And this year, some of the contracts they had for lower prices have exhausted themselves, and they're raising prices. There were no specific mentions of produce items that definitely went up. It was mostly CPG type stuff. It made me go back and read some of your analysis on what to expect this year from Amazon and Whole Foods, a month or two ago. And they're not delivering what we expect. Think that will be a real game changer. They're kind of doing things that aren't leading to any big business or big moves. So.
Some of the other stuff, the analysis I've read of it is that the price investments is, the corporate speak for what they call lowering prices. They're shifting those more toward the loyalty program, which is Amazon Prime, which in store is actually only called Prime. Go into a Whole Foods, I went into the 365 that's by my house here the other day. Your entire view, you can see at least 6 or 7 different Prime signs all over in the store. The kicker is they're really not that great of a deal. So I'm still wondering what's going to go on with this, and so far it's been a head scratcher and a little bit different there from Whole Foods.
So do you think some of the things we're hearing about Whole Foods is starting to affect morale at the company?
I definitely think it is. We've had a lot of rumors go around about them trying to unionize. And then also the latest 100 best companies to work for list came out, and 3 of the retailers that we see often, Nugget Market in California, Publix in Florida, and Wegmans, actually Publix and Wegmans have been on that list for the past 22 years since it started. The retailer that was on the list for every year since it started dropped off right after they got bought by Amazon. So I'm wondering if either someone didn't want to do the paperwork, or if it was something to do with the employees not really appreciating the direction that Whole Foods is going in.
It doesn't seem to be a very good strategy to opt out of such a thing. So it sounds to me like it was not voluntary.
The number of press releases that I see when this list comes out, a lot of employers are really stoked about being on this list. And there was actually a new one this year, and not surprising with what's going on with trucking and transportation. Total Quality Logistics in Cincinnati was actually named to the list this year for the first time. And that kind of goes along with some of the coverage that you're working on for trucking and transportation. They're trying to do their best to make their employees happy. And
they ship a lot of produce, and I'm looking into the driver shortage quite a bit, and a huge problem is the way drivers are treated. So if TQL is getting an award for treating employees well, that's a good step for their business.
All right, well, thanks for watching. This is Pamela and Greg for Blue Book Services.